Welcome! Thank you for joining me for today's video all about puppy biting. Now, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of puppies and I remember how it feels to go through that puppy bitey stage from when Shadow was little. We all have to go through it, you're not alone. But there are things we can do to help make it better, so I'm very pleased you're here today. In this video, we're going to cover why puppies bite, what we can do to make things easier for them and for us, what to do in the moment when your puppy's biting you, and I'll have some ultimate top tips for the most success when it comes to puppy biting. It's really important that we give our puppies the appropriate guidance because they won't just grow out of it. I have everything covered for you so you can live that nice life you dreamed of when you got your puppy without becoming a human pincushion with scratches all over your arms and hands, rips in your clothes, and children who become scared of your puppy because of their biting. So, why do puppies bite? Puppy biting is a perfectly normal and natural behaviour. Our puppies are going to put things in their mouths to learn all about the world around them, and we're no exception to that. It's a bit like babies and toddlers who put everything in their mouths to find out about them. And like we do with children, we have to teach our puppies what is and isn't appropriate to put in their mouths. So when puppies are biting, one of the most important things that's going on is they're getting feedback on how firmly they can make contact before it becomes an issue. If you've ever seen litter mates playing with each other, this is what they're doing all of the time. They'll bite one another and receive great feedback on whether or not that was okay, too much, or caused pain. And because puppy teeth are really sharp and pointy, they cause more pain with less pressure, and our puppies learn what is and isn't appropriate. So when it comes to puppies biting us, we want to continue that process in a way that's fair and constructive. So it's also worth noting that our puppies will be teething. During the time from around 8 weeks to 8 months, puppies will be losing all of their baby teeth and gaining their adult teeth. So they're going to need to chew on things to help soothe the pain. We need to provide appropriate outlets for our puppies chewing, and this is going to help to relieve that pain. So we need to provide a selection of different things for them to chew on, with lots of different textures, some that are quite hard, others that are quite soft. Things like coffee wood, yak milk chews. Carrots are great, especially if you freeze them first so they're nice and cold and soothing. Frozen celery is a softer option, or you could soak a flannel or rope toy and put that in the freezer for your puppy. There are lots of things we can give them to help. Just be careful to supervise them. When it comes to puppy biting and teething, there is lots we can do to set our puppies up for success so they'll be less bitey. Diet plays a huge role in behaviour, so we need to make sure that the food we're feeding our puppies is appropriate. Now, this is a huge topic, but essentially we need to be sure we're not feeding our puppies anything full of sugars or fillers that give them a huge energy boost, because that energy has to go somewhere. So there's a really good website that you can compare dog foods on, and I'll give you a link to that so you can compare the nutritional values of foods within your price range. So enrichment. Enrichment is really important. We need to make sure that we're giving our puppies enrichment throughout the day. You'll find I frequently post different enrichment activities on my page, and I'll be posting ideas for you to try out at home each day this week too. Enrichment is really important for providing mental and physical stimulation, which will help our puppies to sleep more, and they'll get a better quality sleep, which will really help to reduce biting. So be sure to check out today's enrichment activity, and we'll be covering more of this later in the week too. So sleep is really important, especially when it comes to puppy biting. Puppies need around 18 hours of good quality sleep a day. Our sleep cycle lasts about 4 hours, and in that time we get a lot of deep REM sleep. But puppy and dog sleep cycles are around 20 minutes, which means they need a lot more sleep to be able to function properly. If our puppies don't get enough sleep, then they're going to be more irritable, more impulsive, and a lot more grabby and bitey. So we really need to make sure that our puppies are getting enough good quality sleep. Make sure they have a nice quiet location to sleep, away from all the noise, and that they're comfortable doing that. We'll cover this more during the week too. We also need to make sure that we're engaging with our puppies enough, because puppies who get bored will find their own entertainment and will look for ways to get our attention and gain interaction from us. One of the things that they'll very quickly learn is if we've ignored their efforts to get attention because we're busy doing something else, if they grab onto your shoe, nip your ankle, or pull at your clothes, then you'll quickly respond. So we need to make sure that we're giving our puppies the attention that they need, and we're the ones who are initiating those social interactions. Other things we can do to help prevent problems include tucking in the loose ends of clothing, because loose moving clothing is really fun for our puppies to chase and grab. So tuck in your shoelaces, stuff the bottom of your trousers into your socks, or tuck your dressing gown cord into a pocket, and have plenty of toys to hand to offer your puppy instead. So that's what you'll need to do to set your puppy up for success, so we get less of their bitey behaviour. Now we're going to look at what to do when your puppy's biting, because even with all of these great tips, it's going to happen at some point. So the first thing we need to do is teach our puppies how to be gentle with their mouths. We need to teach them not to bite hard or to cause any pain so that they learn bite inhibition. To start with, if your puppy is mouthing gently, then that's okay. We will build up to stopping this completely, but at first we can teach them that gentle contact is lovely. This is really important for puppies to learn how to be gentle around human skin. But I will add here, we're not going to allow this mouthing on children at all, no matter how gently. So the moment your puppy goes from gentle mouthing to firmer contact, or contact that causes any pain, you're going to need to calmly swap your puppy onto something else to chew. So you'll need to have toys with you at all times for this. Keep some to hand everywhere in your home so you always have something within reach, so that as soon as your puppy causes any pain, you can give them a much better alternative. Now, it's important that the objects we offer our puppies are always desirable. So one great tip is to rotate their toys so they're not always accessible. This will help to keep them really interesting to your puppy. If your puppy bites and starts to cause pain, you're going to swap them onto something appropriate. Except when it comes to children, the second your puppy even touches them with their teeth, the toy needs to be provided no matter how gently your puppy's biting. Now, if you try offering your puppy a toy and they're not interested and go back to biting, then you'll need to calmly and quietly move away for a moment. Eventually, your puppy will learn that causing pain removes the interaction with you. So if you're in your puppy's pen, leave the pen for 10-20 seconds. If your puppy isn't in a pen and you have a stair gate on the door, then stand the other side of that. If you don't have a pen or stair gate, then I highly recommend one to help. When you go back in, offer your puppy something appropriate to chew again. Your puppy will learn that if they continue to bite you, then the consequence is that they lose your attention for a short period of time. But if your puppy chews their toy instead, you will continue spending time together. Now, if you're finding your puppy isn't taking the toy but continues to grab onto you, then we need to have a stop and look at what else is going on. Because we know that puppies will grab and bite a lot more when they're frustrated, overtired, or overexcited. And if your puppy's in that frame of mind, then they're not going to be able to learn. And you'll get stuck in a cycle where everyone just gets more and more frustrated and it gets really, really stressful. We want to avoid that. So if you've been leaving the room and then offering a toy and it's really not helping, then you'll need to find your puppy something else to do that will help to calm them down. So great options here are to give your puppy something to sniff, lick or chew, because all of these are really calming activities. You could give your puppy a snuffle mat, a licky mat, or a stuffed Kong in their pen. Any of these will help to calm your puppy down and they'll most likely have a good sleep. When your puppy wakes up from a good sleep, you'll see much less of their bitey and impulsive behaviour, and they'll be ready to learn. Now, it's really important that you don't worry that this is rewarding your puppy for biting you. What we're doing is managing the behaviour so that it doesn't continue, and we're changing their mindset in that moment. When puppies are that frustrated, they're not in a position to learn. So we need to do something to help tire them out and calm them down. This will help to keep a good relationship with our puppies, and when they wake up, they'll be back in a position to think more clearly and be able to learn. Over time, your puppy will start to learn that gentle contact continues these interactions, but if they make firm or hard contact, then it stops. This will teach them bite inhibition because they'll learn how to be gentle with their teeth. It's at this point that we can start swapping your puppy onto a toy anytime they make contact with their teeth, no matter how gently, because the end goal is that our puppies learn how to be gentle with their mouths, but don't continue to do any mouthing. Now, one of the big debates is whether or not we say ouch. So in my online course, you'll see that I do go into this, but in short, it really depends on the puppy. Some puppies will acknowledge your ouch, but some puppies will get even more excited and think, yay, a human squeaky toy, and bite again. Regardless of whether you have a puppy who responds to ouch or one that doesn't, this method will work for you. So now we're going to move on to my top tips to help with puppy biting. A great thing to do is to keep a diary. Note when your puppy's biting, what was happening at the time, and what happened in the 15 minutes before. This way you'll be able to look back and find patterns. Maybe it's after your puppy's eaten, in the evenings, which is quite common, or after playing and running around the garden, or maybe something else. When you have this information, you can then start to preempt your puppy's biting. If you know there are particular times of day when your puppy gets more bitey, we can give them a more constructive activity to do at that time, like a stuffed Kong, licky mat, snuffle mat, or some of our fun enrichment games. This will enable us to manage the situation effectively in a way that's constructive for our puppies and will prevent the biting happening in the first place. It's also a very helpful idea to keep to a really good toilet training schedule, because sometimes our puppies can get extra bitey when they need to go to the toilet, and we'll talk more on toilet training tomorrow. We can also teach our puppies how to play appropriately with toys and with us. Spend time teaching them this, and if you're playing tug, don't be afraid to let them win. This will help to keep them really interested in the game and wanting to play again. Also, keep play sessions really short. We know that when puppies get overexcited, they get more grabby and bitey. So if you're playing a nice game, don't let it go on for too long, and have plenty of frequent breaks during play to help keep your puppy nice and calm. Also, avoid letting your puppy chase your children or anyone else's, so that we can make sure that play between them is really constructive. Play enrichment games together, get them involved in training or teaching some tricks. Activities that are more structured and calm will help to prevent problems. When you handle your puppies, keep your movements soft and gentle, more like a massage, to avoid getting them all amped up. I encourage you to do handling exercises so your puppy's happy being touched all over their body without finding it uncomfortable or scary, but it's important to do this when they're nice and calm and relaxed. Avoid handling or picking up your puppy when they're too excited, because they'll be more grabby and bitey when they're in an overexcited mood. So we also all need to be consistent. Everyone in your household needs to be on board and doing the same thing with your puppy for them to be able to learn. Be sure to praise your puppy and give them lots of attention when they have anything inappropriate in their mouths. Puppies absolutely love this, and it will lead to them doing it more. I know puppy biting can be really difficult, so please do ask me if you have any questions. I'll be really happy to help.